Have you ever scrolled through social media and wondered, am I the only one who doesn't have my life together financially? Do you look at your bank account at 28 or 29 and think, should I have more saved by now? Are you approaching 30 and feeling this quiet panic about whether you're behind, ahead, or completely off track? If you've ever felt that knot in your stomach wondering if you're doing money wrong, this video is going to change everything for you. Because what I'm about to show you isn't some generic advice. It's the real numbers, the honest breakdown, and the truth about what you should actually have saved by 30. Let me start by telling you something that nobody else will say out loud. Most 30-year-olds have almost nothing saved. The median savings for someone turning 30 in 2026 is around $7,000. Not $70,000, not $50,000. $7,000. That's it. And a huge percentage have less than $1,000 in actual savings. So if you're sitting there feeling behind because you have $5,000 or $10,000 or even $15,000 saved, you're already ahead of the majority. But here's where it gets interesting. Being ahead of average doesn't mean you're in a good position, because while the median is $7,000, the actual target you should be hitting is very different. And that's what we're going to break down today. The real number, the honest number, and exactly how to get there if you're not there yet. But before we get into the specific dollar amounts, we need to talk about what saved actually means, because this is where most people get confused and compare themselves incorrectly. When we talk about savings by 30, we're actually talking about three different buckets, and you need all three. Bucket 1 is your emergency fund. This is cold, hard cash sitting in a savings account that you can access immediately. This money is for when life goes sideways. Car breaks down, you lose your job, medical emergency, unexpected expense. This isn't money you're trying to grow. This is money you're protecting. How much should be in this bucket by 30? Minimum $5,000. Ideally, 3 to 6 months of your essential expenses. If your rent, food, utilities, insurance, and minimum debt payments total $3,000 a month, you need $9,000 to $18,000 in this bucket. I know that sounds like a lot, but this is your foundation. Without this, you're one emergency away from credit card debt, which destroys everything. Bucket 2 is your retirement savings. This is money in a 401k, IRA, or other retirement account. By 30, the general rule of thumb is you should have 1 year of your salary saved for retirement. If you make $60,000, you should have $60,000 in retirement accounts. If you make $80,000, you should have $80,000 saved. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's no way I have that much saved. And you're not alone. Most people don't hit this target, but that's the benchmark we're aiming for. Bucket 3 is your short to medium term savings. This is money for goals in the next 1 to 5 years. Down payment on a house, starting a business, wedding, major purchase. This money should be in a high yield savings account or low risk investments. How much in this bucket by 30? That depends entirely on your goals, but ideally at least $10,000 to $20,000 if you have big life moves coming. So let's add this up. If you're 30 years old right now, here's what you should ideally have. Emergency fund of $10,000 to $15,000. Retirement savings equal to your annual salary. Let's say $60,000 to $80,000. Short-term savings of $10,000 to $20,000. That's a total of $80,000 to $115,000 in combined savings and investments. Now, before you panic and close this video, stay with me, because I'm about to show you why most people don't hit this number and what you should actually focus on if you're starting from zero or close to it. Here's a reality that nobody talks about. Your 20s are financially brutal for most people. You're paying off student loans. You're trying to build a career, which often means low starting salaries. You're probably dealing with expensive rent in cities where the jobs are. You're building your professional wardrobe, buying furniture, maybe even supporting yourself for the first time with no family safety net. The idea that you're supposed to save $80,000 to $100,000 during the same decade where you're making the least amount of money you'll ever make in your career, it's almost laughable. So here's what I want you to understand. If you're 30 turning with $20,000 to $30,000 total saved across all buckets, you're actually doing pretty well. You're not at the ideal target, but you're in a position to build momentum. If you're 30 turning with $40,000 to $50,000 saved, you're crushing it compared to your peers. You have a real foundation. If you're 30 turning with less than $10,000 total, you're not doomed. But you need to make some serious changes immediately, because the decisions you make in your early 30s will determine your entire financial future. Now here's the mid-hook you need to hear. The amount you have saved by 30 matters way less than the trajectory you're on. Let me explain what I mean. Person A turns 30 with $50,000 saved, but they're spending every dollar they make. No savings habit, no momentum, just coasting. Person B turns 30 with $15,000 saved, but they're saving $1,000 every single month. Consistently, they have a system, they have discipline, they have trajectory. Who do you think is in a better position at 40? Person B, every single time. Because compound interest and consistent habits beat a head start every time. The person who saves $1,000 a month from 30 to 40 will add $120,000 in contributions alone. With market returns, that's potentially $160,000 to $180,000 by 40. They went from $15,000 to potentially $175,000 in 10 years. Meanwhile, person A, who had $50,000 but saved nothing, they still have $50,000, or maybe less after inflation. Your current number matters less than your current habits. Remember that. So let me give you the exact playbook to getting to where you need to be, whether you're starting from zero or trying to accelerate. Step 1, build your $1,000 starter emergency fund immediately. Sell stuff, work overtime, pick up a side gig for 1 month. Do whatever it takes. This $1,000 is your buffer against life's small emergencies. It stops you from going into debt when something breaks. Get this done in the next 30 days. Step 2, contribute enough to your 401k to get the full employer match. If your company matches 3%, contribute 3% minimum. This is literally free money. If you're not taking the match, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table every year. Even if you have debt, get the match first. Step 3, attack high-interest debt aggressively. Credit cards charging 20% interest are an emergency. You cannot build wealth while paying 20% interest to credit card companies. Throw every extra dollar at this until it's gone. Step 4, build your emergency fund to 3 months of expenses. Once you have $1,000 and you're getting the 401k match and high-interest debt is under control, focus here. 3 months of expenses creates real breathing room. You can handle job loss, you can handle major repairs, you can handle life without panic. For most people, this is $9,000 to $15,000. Make this your obsession until you hit it. Step 5, increase retirement contributions to 15% of your income. Once you have that emergency fund fully funded, bump up your 401k or IRA contributions. 15% of your gross income going to retirement should be your baseline. If you make $60,000, that's $9,000 a year or $750 a month. This is non-negotiable if you want to retire comfortably. Step 6, save for your specific goals. Down payment, business, wedding, whatever. Now you can focus on these goals without jeopardizing your foundation. Here's what this looks like in real numbers. Let's say you're 28 years old right now. You have $5,000 saved total. You make $65,000 a year. You feel behind and stressed. Here's what the next 2 years could look like if you follow this playbook. In the next 30 days, sell some stuff and save every extra dollar to get to $2,000 emergency fund. That's your first mini milestone. Over the next 12 months, contribute 5% to your 401k to get the company match. That's $3,250 going in, plus maybe $1,500 employer match. You now have $4,750 in retirement accounts. Simultaneously, save $400 a month toward your emergency fund. In 12 months, that's $4,800 more. Your emergency fund is now at $6,800. In year 2, age 29, increase your emergency fund savings to $500 a month. By the end of the year, you have $12,800 in emergency savings. Bump your 401k contribution to 8%. With employer match, you're putting in roughly $7,000 for the year. Your retirement account is now around $13,500, including some market growth. You turn 30 with $12,800 in emergency savings and $13,500 in retirement accounts. That's $26,300 total. Are you at the ideal $80,000 to $100,000? No, but you went from $5,000 and stressed to $26,300 with momentum and a system. You're not behind anymore. You're building, and the trajectory is what matters. From 30 to 35, if you keep this momentum, you could easily have $80,000 to $100,000 saved. You're just 5 years shifted from the textbook timeline. That's completely fine. Here's what I need you to understand. The traditional benchmarks assume you started saving at 22 with a good salary and no debt. That's not reality for most people. Student loans, late career starts, medical expenses, family obligations. These are real things that affect real people. If you're 30 without a 6-figure saved, you're not a failure. You're normal. But normal doesn't have to be your future. You can change your trajectory starting today. The people who win financially in their 30s and 40s aren't the ones who started with the most. They're the ones who build consistent habits and refuse to give up. Save something every single month, even if it's just $200. Automate it so you don't think about it. Increase the amount every time you get a raise. Stay consistent for years, not months. Avoid lifestyle inflation when your income grows. This is the formula. It's not sexy, it's not complicated, but it works. So let me ask you this. Where are you right now? Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be? Behind? Does this video make you feel better or worse about your situation? Drop a comment and let me know your actual number and your age. No judgment, just real talk. Because the more honest we are about money, the more we can actually help each other. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. Share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And remember, it's not about where you start, it's about where you're going. Let's build wealth together.